Hi everyone. We are going to read chapter 12 in Ellen Foster by Kay Gibbons. Wake up, it's time to go to school, my new mama yells. It is good to feel refreshed on Monday morning, not like when you are in a job you hate. I sit up in my bed and flip the pillow over for the cool side. Sometimes I even say to myself, this feels very good, and I count up what I like about the way I am living now. Number one is that I do not plan to leave here until I am old. If somebody does try to make me leave, I will chain my arms and legs to the bedpost and throw a fit. Number two and three is that I do not owe anybody any money and I can count on food to eat that I do not always have to fix or be guilty eating. And the best one, number four, is my new mama saying good morning to me like she means it. All that bothers me about Monday morning is school. Julia always said it took her a while to get back in the groove. While I eat my breakfast, I compare it to the one featured on the side of the cereal box, and it all matches. Toast, egg, juice, and milk. Cereal. That much usually holds me until lunch. Got your books, everybody? She checks. Got your lunches? Remembering my lunchbox is automatic for me. Every time we get ready to leave for school, the baby Roger cries and reaches his arms out for Stella to take him. You can go to school when you are a big boy, is what my new mama tells him, but it is not school he wants, but Stella. I'll be back in a little while. You be a good boy, she tells him. He still does not listen to Stella or my new mama, and he rolls his little fists in his eyes and screams louder. But he does not have an attention span, and soon after we leave, my new mama will rock him and read a bear or rabbit story to him, and he will be still. I do not know that for a fact, but if I was in his shoes, that is what I would do. His mama Stella is in the 7th grade, and she is the youngest girl I have ever seen that had a baby. That amazes me. She is the official mama, but she does not do it around the clock. That is when my new mama comes in. If you just saw Stella sitting in the back of the school bus teasing with the high school boys, you would not know she was a mama. Last week she dyed her hair yellow like corn, and my new mama took her to the beauty shop and paid them to make it black again. My new mama says Stella tries her patience. Stella sits in the back with those boys, and I hear her giggle and say to them, you better stop. Then she will giggle again. I always bet one is feeling up her shirt, but I do not turn around to see for sure. I wish I'd had eyes in the back of my head. I sit in the front seat of the bus myself because I think this is a ride to school, not a circus. Stella looks already wore out when she gets off the bus at school. Monday is always music day. I cannot carry a tune, so I do not sing out loud for somebody to laugh at me. I just move my lips to the words and try to look eager and in tune. There is enough people to sing so that my not singing does not make a drop in the bucket. We always go to the auditorium to sing because that is where they keep the school piano. And we always march past Starletta's classroom. I wave to her and she sticks out her tongue at me. Lord, sometime I wish I still had Starletta. Last month she took her hair out of the plaits, and I had to say, Starletta, is that really you? When I saw her at school, I figured she would always have the plaits, but that is because I always thought she would be little and fast forever. I think that is a typo. She has hit the growth spurt they talked about in my health book, and she is getting tall. She has been away from me so long now, I feel like she grew behind my back, and then I think about her now. I want to press my hands to her to stop her from growing into a time she will not want to play. She told me during lunchtime one day she has a crush on a boy, and she pointed him out to me, and he was a sassy old white boy. And she would not listen to me tell her she would have to pick out another boy to love. She is very sweet on Tom, the white boy. A boy is a boy to her, and this is the one she has decided on. But I know Starletta is not a fool. Her body has grown fast, and so is her thinking. Nowadays, you can count on her to have some things figured out for her own self. But I still know her good enough to tell what is running through her head. It It is no use to snag a colored boy, she would think, when the white ones are the ones that have the cars and the money to set you up in style. Why do I want to chop all day and make quilts all night, she would think. What can a colored boy bring me for a Valentine present but some cheap candy or some paper he cut out and glued into a heart? But that white boy Tom could tell his mama to pick up something nice in town, and she would put it on her account. That is the way Starletta was thinking. I know Starletta is getting a itch down deep and low where a colored boy cannot afford to reach to scratch. I always think about her while I stand in the middle of the singing. The songs match whatever season we're in. Turkey and straw, ghosts. There we go. On Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree, Easter lily fair. If there is not a special season going on, we sing about America. I mean, they sing about America. I just move my lips and think about how sly I am. We both keep lists of what we need to tell each other. We started when I moved to Julia's. My list is usually more exciting than hers, but that is just because I can go to movies and the grocery store. Hers might just say my daddy is building an inside the house toilet, or my mama has a boil on her neck. I wonder how long she will be interested in keeping the list with me, and something tells me inside that one of these days, soon, she will forget me. So I have to make a big, very big good time with her that she will not forget when she is riding in the car with her white boy or dancing at his party. I know for a fact I would not ever forget her. But you can never be sure about how somebody else thinks about you except if they beat it into your head. At least that is how I am worried about Starletta, who never has said much good or bad to me. But before long, I will have to know I am in her head like she is in mine. It is good to have a friend like her. All the way home from school, I wonder if my new mama would let Starletta come to my house and spend the night. This is brave to think, because I am not sure if it has been done before. That is something big Starletta would never forget, and she would think back on me and how she stayed in the White House all night with Ellen. I wonder to myself, am I the same girl who would not drink after Starletta 2 years ago, or eat a colored biscuit when I was starved? It is the same girl, but I am old now. I know it is not the germs you cannot see that slide off her lips and on to a glass, then to your white lips that will hurt you or turn you colored. What you had better worry about, though, is the people you know and trusted they would be like you because you were all made in the same batch. You need to look over your shoulder at the one who is in charge of holding you up and see if that is a knife he has in his hand. And it might not be a colored hand, but it is a knife. Excuse me. If you let somebody tell you anything else, you are a fool, because what I have told you is right. Sometimes I even think I was cut out to be colored, and I got bleached and sent to the wrong bunch of folks. When I stayed with my mama's mama, I made a list of all that I wanted my family to be, and I put down white and have running water. Now it makes me ashamed to think I said that. All I know now is that I want Starletta in my house, and if she tells me to, I will lick the glass she uses just to show her that I love her, and her being colored is just the way she is. That's all. I know my new mama will let her come. She will say something on the order of, "Your friend is my friend." That might sound made up, but she means that. I open the door to my house and look around for somebody to squeeze, and she is there each day in the kitchen, and that is something, when you consider she does not have to be there, but she is there so I can squeeze her and be glad. That always tops off my days just right. She squeezes me extra hard on Tuesday, because she knows that is my tough day of the week. Every Tuesday I try to think of an exotic disease that will sound deadly enough to keep me out of school. That is the day when the man comes and asks me questions about the past. I always dread him. I walk behind him to the school nurse's office where he tells me to relax and let's chat. The nurse is not there to listen in because that is the day she goes out in the field to give migrant babies booster shots. One day, though, she got back early and we caught her outside the office with her ear to the door. He always starts out with the same with how important it is for me to relax and say what I feel. I do not think I have a problem, but he gets paid good money. I am sure to find whatever ails me and cure it. So how are you today? He always wants to know. Fine, I always say back nice and genuine as I can make it, because if I tell him the truth, like I'd rather be digging a ditch than be here today, he asks me why I am defensive. And then he will not let go of a word, but he has to bend and pull and stretch what I said into something he can see on paper and see how it has changed like a miracle into exactly what he wanted me to say. Then he will smile, all pleased at himself. Then he can move on to some new business like why I am not a social being. That was what he said last month. I told him I was not social because I did not want to be put next year. I might after I got my own business straight. Hold on, let me read that again. I told him I was not social because I did not want to be, but next year I might after I got my own business straight. He was not pleased with my answer, or at least that is what he said. But I think he liked it because it was not as friendly as it could be, and that meant he had his job cut out for him. If everybody was friendly and sweet, he would not have a job. You look at it that way upside down, and the world will start to make some good sense. Ellen, he says to get my attention. I always think on my own when I sit with him. Yes. I understand from your teacher that you've taken to signing your papers differently. I wondered when somebody would catch it. Well, Ellen, he says, like he might be a little confused, his own self. We could understand if you were misspelling your name, but you've been signing Foster as your last name this entire term. Did you realize that? Of course I know my last name, I tell him. Okay, then tell me your name. Ellen Foster. But that is not your last name. Would you like to talk about it? About what? About why you are using that name. You see, Ellen, sometimes children such as yourself who have experienced such a high degree of trauma tend to have identity problems. Do you follow me? Okay, go on. And these children express their identity problems in several ways. What I am thinking of in particular is the child who has experienced what he or she feels to be an unbearable amount of pain, and this child might not want to be himself anymore. Are you with me so far? I understand. I told him the first day that if he had to talk to me, then he could talk to me like I have some sense, just so he doesn't get ahead of how fast I can think. Okay, go on. It is not uncommon for such a child to pretend he is somebody else. He doesn't necessarily have to know what other person, just so he does not feel the pain anymore is all that matters. Okay, go on. I don't know who this Foster is, but it really doesn't matter. What does matter is that you open up and talk to me. Get that pain out of Ellen, and she won't have to be somebody else. Lord, I say to him, I hate to tell him he's wrong, because you can tell it took him a long time to make up his ideas, and the worst part is I can see he believes them. Go ahead, Ellen. Tell me what you're thinking. It's okay. That might not be the name God or my mama gave me, but that is my name now, Ellen Foster. My old family wore the other name out, and I figured I would take the name of my new family. That one is fresh, Foster. I told him all that. I'm starting to see your point. Go ahead, he told me. Before I even met Stella or Jojo or the rest of them, I heard they were the Foster family. Then I moved in the house and met everybody and figured it was okay to make my name like theirs. Something told me I might have to change it legal or at a church, but I was hoping I could slide by the law and folks would think I came by the name natural after a while. He laughed like I had said a joke. After he explained it all to me, I felt like a fool for a minute. Then I asked him if I could keep using that name anyway, or if I needed to pick out another one. I just don't care for my old name, I said to him. I sure could use another one. If I have to give up Foster, then give me a while to think up a flashy one. When he stopped laughing, he said we were back to where we started. But I thought we had everything figured out. I said, Foster is not the right pick, so I'll think up something else. No, Ellen, the problem is not in the name. The problem is why you feel you need another identity. Not identity, just a new name. I wanted to write that big across the sky so he would understand, and then picking into my head would stick. You are the one who is mixed up about me, I told him. He wrote that down fast, right fast, and then said we would discuss it again next week. I said I do not plan to discuss chicken shit with you, and then I laughed. He would not be seeing me again. I might be confused sometimes in my head, but it is not something you need to talk about. Before you can talk, you have to line it all up in order, and I had rather just let it swirl around until I am too tired to think. You just let the motion in your head wear you out. Never think about it. You just make a bigger mess that way. Okay, that was chapter 12 in Ellen Foster by Kay Gibbons.